Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome back to the Humble Servant Homestead. Today, we are out here down at the bottom garden. We have decided to go ahead and give you all a garden update. We're now in October 23rd, guys. And also, we are here in Grow Zone 8A. And so, what we want to go ahead and do, because I know I did not take you all along with me when I planted out all these brassicas down here. And so we just want to go ahead and give you all a update on what we have going on inside of the bottom garden. Now, yes, there is quite a bit of stuff we have planted down here and quite a bit of stuff that we have to also harvest. But as we go along, we will talk a little bit more about it. So come on along and let's go. So let's do this garden update, guys. Okay, and so right here in this first row that we have right here is some cabbage that we have planted out in this row right here. Now, in this row and also the second row, we also have cabbage planted in those rows as well. Now, these right here are some Dutch cabbage that we have planted, and right over here where you guys see some smaller cabbage coming up is that flat Dutch cabbage that we have planted in here as well, guys. Okay, so these beds, they are planted out all the way. But one of the things that I want to go ahead and point out to you all is right in this area right here, guys. What happened is a cabbage that I have, but what happened is you have those fire ants that come on in and they pretty much went ahead and start eating the base of this cabbage right here, and it end up withering away and dying, guys. All right, so just watch out for those fire ants inside of your garden. If you have them, go ahead and take care of those little fellas there, because we don't want them to come on in and damage our brassicas. Now, some of these cabbage right here, as you all can see, they're starting to fold, guys. They're starting to fold. They're looking pretty good for the most part. That's another that is starting to fold. Now, one of the beautiful thing is with planting out your brassicas in the fall is that real nice crisp that it give your vegetable, especially when you come out early in the morning to harvest. Those veins in the plant, guys, is just so full of water, and it's real nice and crisp. So even when you pop them, you can hear them snapping when you pick them. Okay, so like I said, pretty much down here in this area is our cabbage that we have planted in the first row, and also half of the second row is also planted out with cabbage. But we're going to go ahead and move on over into the second row and talk a little bit about what we have going on in that area there. Okay, and so here I am inside of this walkway. We have this garden bed right here that's in the middle. And as y'all can see, guys, we have the rows laid out. And so what this is right here is some broccoli that we have planted inside of this bed right here. Now, as y'all can see, all the way down, we have broccoli planted. Now, these broccolis, guys, they are looking really good. What I really love to see on my broccoli is those real nice blue leaves. That letting you know that your broccoli plant is real nice and healthy. The nitrogen is right where it needs to be. And so, hey, really it's just you sitting back and letting them go ahead and grow on out and start bearing those broccoli. But come on down. What I want to go ahead and do is also, I want to show you all here these turnips. That is pretty much voluntary turnips popping up inside of this bed right here. Now, guys, I did not sow any seeds. It must be some seeds that was hidden in the ground somewhere and they started germinating. But tomorrow morning we will be coming down here to harvest them on out, because yes, we can definitely use a little bit of turnip. Okay, so but what I want to also go ahead and do is to pretty much show you all, because yes, these broccoli, they are starting to go ahead and put on a crown. So come on down. It's one, these ones, they are putting on a little bit of, well, this one don't have any just as yet, but every few, or you could come on in here. Here, see a little crown right there coming in from that broccoli right there, guys. Okay, right down here at the bottom, we actually have one that is pretty much pretty good size. Okay. You know, so you come on down here. I should go ahead and show you that. Okay, so here's that one that is starting to show up for us right there. Now, one of the things that you have to understand, once you see these broccoli start showing that crown like that, you want to start coming in and check on them, maybe say every week or so. A week? Yeah, about it. Yeah, check on a few days. Yeah, a week, few days. Just check on them. This right here, I would give it a week. You know, till I come back on in and check on it, because it's still small, but they swell up really quick. So keep that in mind. Now, one of the other things that I want to talk about as well that I have noticed, and it's one of the things that I don't want you guys to go to sleep on in the fall. Now, the pressure may not be as bad as if it was in the springtime, but hey, you still have those little fellows that wants to come on out and plague your broccoli. Now, I may not find any right now, but they are in here. Those caterpillars, keep an eye out for them, guys, because yes, they still come on in and try to cause a bit of damage. I can show you right down here on this leaf. Look at this leaf right here. Now, this leaf was looking pretty just like this leaf maybe, I would say about 2 days ago. Come back down here to check and look at that. That's the damage that that caterpillar caused. Now, I have not came on in and sprayed them yet because, as y'all can see, the sun is shining on me, guys. And if I were to come down here and spray them with that neem oil with the sun at its peak right now, what will happen? I will run the risk of burning the leaves on my broccoli plant, and I don't want to do that. So remember, even though you have your brassicas planted out in the fall time, still check for pest pressure. That way you don't have a whole bunch of holes in your brassicas. Okay, so right on over here, if you all remember our sorghum that we planted out. Okay, so far they did really well. In a way, I want to kind of do a separate little video on these sorghum right here. But what they went ahead and did for us, they did put out those seed pods, the first set of seed pods. And as y'all can see, we did came on in and harvest those. Right here, what I did went ahead and did was leave them because I noticed they was putting on more seed pods once I went ahead and harvest out the main seed pod. And look at that, still getting a real nice little harvest from these sorghum plants. What the next step that we're going to be doing is, don't give it away. All right, baby, that's why I'm so happy that you are here to have me not to give it away. But stay tuned with these sorghums right here. We will come back on in and we will go ahead and do another video on these. But also stay tuned. We do have some seeds coming pretty soon in our store, so you all can plan out some of these sorghums, guys. Because remember when I did that video, stay tuned, man. My baby said me not to give it away. So me not give it away. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So now come on, we're going to go ahead and move on down the next bed and talk about some more plants that we have planted out. So come on along, guys. Let's go. Okay, and so here we are right next to this other plot that we have right here. So this garden bed right here, as y'all can see, I have 2 rows. This right here is more broccoli. Now this is a different variety of broccoli that I have planted out in this bed right here. I'm trying to think of the name, but this is the broccoli that give you additional side shoots. You remember, is it, what's the name of that broccoli? Nonetheless, guys, can't think of the name right now, but yes, we have these broccoli planted out. Calabrese, that's what it is. So this here is some Calabrese broccoli that we have planted out in this area. Now I did kind of plant them out a little bit late. Okay, so they're doing pretty good. Um, you know, for the most part, they're doing pretty good. So we're just going to go ahead and see what they do for us. Now, one of the things that I've noticed and I want to share with you all is when you're planting out brassicas, don't wait too late to plant them out. You may want to go ahead and plant them soon as fall gets here. Okay, because what I've noticed when it's real cold, especially when you're getting frost and stuff like that, that frost tend to come on in sometime, depends on how harsh it is. It can also burn some of your brassica leaves. So plant them out early so that way once it start getting real cold, those broccoli will be putting on their head and it will be almost time to harvest them, just like those ones that I have planted out over on that side. Okay, so right here, what we have, as you all know, hey, we love to plant ourselves here on the homestead some Georgia collards, guys, and that is what this is Georgia collards that we have planted out inside of these beds right here. As you all can see, they're looking really good. Not a whole bunch of bug pressure on these particular plants right here, and it is almost time where we can come on in and harvest a few of these leaves. Not a whole lot of them is ready to be harvested just as yet, but those bigger leaves, bigger bottom leaves, we definitely can come on in and harvest those bigger bottom leaves. Okay, and you come on over here. What we have in this bed right here as well is more cabbage in this bed. 2 rows of cabbage that we have. We did came in and stagger the planting as we planted them because this bed is a little bit narrower, so we stagger them. Okay, that way they'll have space to grow out just the way how they need to grow. And also in this row right here as well, we have more Georgia collards, guys. They're looking really good. You know, they're looking really good. Can't wait to come on in and harvest some of them. And like I said, the ants, look at that. That's another ants that came on in and took. Are they looking for water? You know what? I am not sure what they're looking for, but I know they're damaging those plants. That's what happened. They came in and they start eating right here at the base. And before you know it, your plants start to wither away just like that. Okay, so hey, but you know what, we can't win all the time. You're going to have some kind of pressure come on in, but the thing about it is you have to stay on it whenever you do see it. Now these ones right here, hey, we can actually start harvesting because look how beautiful that is. Excuse me, Georgia collards. Look at how beautiful those leaves are. It is almost time to harvest. So if when we do come on down here and harvest these Georgia collards right here, guys, what we would always love to do is come early in the morning. Like I said, when that dew is still on the leaves, you still get that real nice crisp when you snap them. Okay, so keep that in mind. Early morning is always the best time to come on out and harvest your veggies. All right, so that is it right here for this plot right here. Look at here. It would have been so nice if it was springtime, because this is where we also had our tomatoes planted out. Look at how beautiful that tomato plant is. And it's just such a bummer to see it go to waste, guys, because I know eventually the frost is going to come on in and take it out. But look at that. If it had time, Look at that. If it had time, we would definitely be getting some tomatoes. Okay. But also this right here is beefsteak tomatoes that we have planted out in here. And yes, we will be having some of these here on our store as well. The seeds, yes, on our store. So stay tuned for that as well, guys. All right. So um, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about these plots and what we have going on with them down here at the bottom garden. So stay tuned and come on along. Let's go. And so here we are inside of this big plot down here at the bottom garden. Now, if you all notice, there is nothing planted out inside of these beds right here. But what we do have is those little bean plants that we left behind. And we're just going to let them go ahead and break back down inside of this bed right here. Now, one of the things that you want to also keep in mind, the reason for me planting out these beans inside of the beds, I did talk about it in a previous video, but we know we have new people coming on, and so we'll just talk just a little bit about it. What happened, these beans, they gather the nitrogen out of the air and store it down in the roots, guys. Those little nodules will come on these roots right here. And what happened, they will release into the soil, therefore putting back nitrogen into the soil. And that is why we planted out quite a bit of beans inside of these beds right here. In this bed, if you all remember, in the springtime, we did plant it out some potatoes. And look at this right here, guys. We have some volunteer sweet potatoes popping up inside of this bed right here as well. Now, what I also did inside of this bed, and that is what I will be doing going forward, which I have been doing it more so in the fall time, but in the summertime, I would just leave the beds and leave them be. But what I will do with all of the hay from my goat pens, what I did, I came on in and I cover these beds right here with that hay to keep those beds from drying out, keeping them moist, keeping the microbes and the bacteria, the biology in the soil active, guys. So that is why you see this hay on top of these beds right here. And look at that. They're pretty much broken down back into the soil. So I will be coming in to reapply some more hay on top of these beds right here as well, to overwinter these beds right here. Okay. But as you all can see, there is nothing planted out in these beds. I could come on in and maybe drop some brassica seeds in here to let them go ahead and grow out. And you know what? I will consider that. I will definitely think about that. I just spotted this right here. And what that is right here, guys, is morning glory. Whenever you see those, throw those out of your beds because what's going to happen if once you put those seeds on, your bed will be full of morning glory. So get those out if you do have those on your homestead, on your property. Okay, so pretty much same thing with this bed right here. Nothing planted in it, just have the hay on the top. And look at that. Look at how nice and moist that soil is. And we also have some worms in here. Now that is also the great thing about covering up these beds right here as well with the hay, because guess what? The worms have a place to stay real nice and cool, because we know worms, hey, they love to stay cool. And so we're going to put those babies back on in, because yes, even while they're staying cool up underneath this hay, what they're doing, they're also eating the hay as well, helping it to break down, putting back nutrients back into the soil. Another beautiful thing about this hay is right here, this hay did not came from my property, guys. I bought it from my hay guy, and pretty much what he used to fertilize his hay is chicken manure as well. So all that nutrients that this hay pulled up off of his property, guess what? That that what it's doing here on my property, it's releasing all that nutrients that was also in this hay into my soil. Okay, so that is another beautiful thing for this hay right here. All right, so right over here is just a couple little bit more brassicas that I have planted out. And so that's pretty much it, guys, for these 4 beds right here. Okay, so right in this area is, if you all remember when we planted out these beans. Now we did planted out some string beans in this area right here, guys, and I am telling you, these string beans, they produce like crazy. Okay, green beans. Oh, excuse me. So the green beans that we planted out down here in this area produce like crazy. And I believe if they still had more time before our last frost date, they will still even be producing, because we still have some blossom that is still putting out on these beans right here. But what I also want to go ahead and do is to show you all the production, because yes, we did have a subscriber were to say, hey, give us a update on how those beans are doing. And guys, I want to go ahead and do that. Okay, now look at that right there. Okay, look at that. Ton loads of green beans underneath here, a whole lot, very, very plenteous. And guys, for that for that I am thankful, because I always say, all I did down here, I only planted 1 bean. Okay, bring it back on in. This right here is just, I want to make sure I'm correct. Okay, so this is another bean back here. This is another bean that I planted. But look at this. This is 2 plants right here. But just look at just this 1 plant. Okay, look at how much green beans I have right here from just this 1 plant. And so that is why I always stress the fact that I want you all to get outside and grow something. It doesn't care for me what it is that you grow, but the fact that you put just 1 seed in and look at your return. Look at that. I have this 1 plant right here can give me a half of a jar of green beans to put away. A quarter of a jar of green bean that I can and put away, guys, to eat at a later date. Okay, now another thing is, with these green beans, I did brought you all in when I planted them. I show you all the spacing on how I planted these green beans. And as you all can see right here, how nice and moist this soil is, guys. You see that? When you plant them dense like this, what happened? They're able to shade out the soil, therefore not having the sun to hit it to pull out all the moisture. So if you all notice, and I know you all may have noticed how I've started to plant these things here dense, especially in this bed. If you notice how I made this bed right here and I planted out my plants pretty close, so once they get pretty big, they shade out the soil, therefore keeping in back that moisture, and it's not being dried out too fast or too quick. Okay, so that is pretty much it. But as y'all can see, it's Green Bean City, and we're coming down here to actually harvest out some of these green beans here, guys, and we do want to take you all along with us. Okay, so I'm not going to talk much about these green beans too much. Okay, but my wife came down here. I think she have a video coming, and she did harvest out one of those rows of green beans, and I'm telling you, that thing yield so much. And I'm just thankful to the Most High for the blessing, guys. Okay, I did had a subscriber as well. So as I'm going through, to ask me, hey, can callaloo survive during the cold. Okay. Um, check your area, check your grow zone, and see when your last frost date is in that area. It can survive, say, in the 50s, maybe 49 degrees, 50s, and on up. Okay, could be a little lower than that. But once your first frost gets here, guys, it will start to burn these leaves back. Okay, so keep that in mind. Once your first frost date, it's going to burn those leaves back. But as far as bug pressure on them, it's not that crazy like if it was in the early spring when you plant them out. Okay, and so these are just callaloo that pop back on up from what I had planted down here before. Okay, guys, so keep that in mind as well. But as I said, and let me just pull one back again for you. Look at that. This is another bed. Okay, and look at that. Look at that. Green bean city. It's a lot of green beans. And my wife came down here and harvest, and she said, man, it's a lot of green beans down here. And you know what? I believed her, because when I come down here and I take a little look, hey, I can see the green beans. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful green beans. And I'm telling you, growing your own green beans is the best way to go. They taste fresher. They taste better to me. They taste real, real good. Okay. So what we'll do, come on, we'll just move on down, baby. Don't step on the green beans, because yes, and I believe somebody already stepped on one. Look at that. We have green beans in the row. Okay. Now, one of the things that I did like the fact that I went ahead and did with these green beans as well, I did stagger my planting so that way they all wouldn't be ready all at once. Okay, so these ones over here, I think it's this 3 row is ready, well, very, very ready to be harvested. And those other rows over there, soon as we get done with these, they will be ready to be harvested out as well. But timing is really good for planting these green beans. And look at the yield. The proof is in the pudding. So inside of this bed that you're looking at right here, what we have planted out, yes, is more cabbage. That's what we have planted out inside of this bed right here. And hey, so far they are looking really good. They're growing pretty nice. Not, I haven't seen any bug pressure here on these. But like my wife did say, she came on down here and harvest some Georgia collards, and she did see a bit of white flies was coming off of them. And so we will come on down here and treat this area right here for white flies, guys. Okay. Now, hey, guess what? If you all remember this area, which I know you all remember this area right here, is where we have our sweet potatoes. What you think about a sweet potato harvesting today, baby?
Oh, well, I guess
Yeah, I mean,
the sheep have spoken.
yeah, I think we'll go ahead
Yeah, why not?
and start on the sweet potatoes. We may not get everything done today, but I think we can get at least half of this bed out of the way.
Okay.
What you think about that?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, but as you all can see, is our sweet potato bed over there. I am actually a little bit anxious to see what we have inside of this bed right here, guys. So right here is going to conclude our garden tour for October 23rd. For the bottom garden, yes, because hey, we still have a few things planted out up there in the middle garden and also the top garden that we didn't really take you all along with us. Well, we did on some of the things, not all of it, but stay tuned for the middle garden. I think once we get through with these sweet potatoes, we will work our way to the middle garden, maybe tomorrow or so, to go ahead so y'all can see what we have in the middle garden. But nonetheless, that is it right there. I just want to say thanks to each and every one of you all out there for stopping by the Humble Servant Homestead. And as always, peace and blessings to each and every one of you all out there. Remember, keep a smile on your face. You be happy, you be cheerful, and you be blessed. Remember, go ahead, throw that thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And just send this video to someone out there that is getting into gardening, that need a little bit of gardening tips so they can grow their garden successfully, guys. Share this video. And remember, just throw the thumbs up on these videos here so that the algorithm can push these videos on out to friends and neighbors and anyone else that are out there that are watching. Me personally, I do watch a few other YouTube channel guys, and hey, when they bring forth their content, look, I just go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Even if I didn't really get to finish the video all the way through, I smash that thumbs up so that way it can help to drive their channel, and also, hey, someone can see what it is that you're doing on their homestead so they can learn. All right, so that is it right there. Let's go. I know you all are ready to see what is underneath the ground with these sweet potatoes. So come on along, and we will see you all in the next video. Have a blessed day.